I swear, once Marvel started getting involved with all this multiverse and different timelines business, it makes you wonder about your own personal life. Like, what if I made a different decision at that crucial moment in my life, and how would things turn out? This show reveals some very interesting characters and events from the most unexpected situations. Let's go. Before we kick off this review, my name is Chris and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it if you hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. This way you'll stay up to date with more fun reviews uploaded weekly. Marvel What If is a new animated series on Disney Plus, and it's actually an anthology where every episode is separate from the other. Marvel uses the majority of their characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to tell different stories with these characters, but in different timelines and multiverses. I took it as it's almost similar to experimenting with ingredients while cooking. Like, what would happen, or let's see if this character that we're all familiar with their abilities and personalities, but if they're in an entirely different situation. They might have a different family, upbringing, acquired skills, therefore a different life purpose. And this is all based on a different decision made in their life that led them to this. As the intro says, it's all about time, space, and reality. Life is not so linear. It's a prism of endless possibilities where a single choice could branch out into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds. You'll notice that throughout the series, there's a background character who's known as the Watcher. He's the guide of all these realities, and he's an immortal being who manages all the multiverses. He's definitely an interesting, cool character at first, but somewhat corny over time since he keeps popping up in every episode. The Watcher is actually voiced by Jeffrey Wright, who does a great job with his deliveries. However, the rest of the cast have received mixed reviews. But during your first watch, you'll be very excited to hear some familiar voices. Many actors reprise their roles from their live-action characters to their animated versions. I mean, I could tell you that I heard around 25 voices from the actors who played their characters in the MCU movies, which is unbelievable how many came back to participate in this series. Without spoiling majority of the cast, some of the main actors you'll be excited to hear from are Samuel L. Jackson, Jeremy Renner, Benedict Cumberbatch, Chris Hemsworth, and the late Chadwick Boseman. The episode with Chadwick Boseman was very special because I think it was actually his last piece of work that he contributed to before he passed away. And he did an amazing job with his performance, as he's always done. However, there were a few actors where many viewers could say the opposite. Many fans had a problem with some of these actors not being able to deliver lines as they would have done in the live action movies. It's definitely great to hear some of the actors at first due to that familiar recognition from the movies. However, it kind of wears off if the delivery is poor. The animation, on the other hand, was very impressive with a display of a modern style showing great shadow effects. The artists also combined many shot selections with great cinematography to represent that classic Marvel heroic style. The color scheme and textures are not as bright and colorful as a Pixar movie, but also with editing, not as extreme as an action anime like Dragon Ball Z. Overall, it's very good and just felt like something different from what I personally haven't watched before. Season 1 of this new series has a total of 9 episodes. And since they're so different from one another, I wanted to give my personal ranking of my top favorite episodes. This way you get an idea of what every episode has to offer without me spoiling any of the plots. Let me know down in the comments if you already watched and if you agree with my rankings. At number 9, I have episode 7, What If Thor Were Our Only Child. This episode just shows Thor coming to Earth, having a massive party with everyone in the galaxy where they get a little too crazy, destroying landmarks by accident. It shows how irresponsible Thor has become growing up as a single child. Chris Hemsworth plays Thor, and Captain Marvel's in this episode a lot. Overall, it's a boring episode and storyline, not that exciting or funny, and kind of slow pacing. At number 8, I have episode 3, What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes. This episode was relating to the first Avengers movie, only this one they all mysteriously die one by one. Loki is in this episode just like in the movie, and they play back so many scenes from that movie. I did not expect who the killer was, but definitely interested to see how it was done. And overall, it's an okay episode. At number 7, I have episode 8, What If Ultron Won? This episode shows if Ultron took over Vision and just how powerful and dangerous he can become. Hawkeye and Black Widow are mainly in this episode, and it's a throwback to Infinity War. The story is great, however I'm just not a big fan of Hawkeye and Black Widow, although Hawkeye is awesome in this episode. At number 6, I have episode 9, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? All characters reunite from previous episodes, kinda as the new Avengers in this multiverse. It's actually the final episode, and it gets very intense on a level of Endgame. Infinity Stones play a major role by the end of this show. I thought the show was episodic, but everything comes together in its finale. There's also a small end credit scene. At number 5, I have episode 6, What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark? It's a combination of Iron Man 1 and Black Panther movie. We see a different side of T'Challa's mother. It's a great episode and felt like another movie. I wanted to watch more once it was finished. At number 4, I have episode 1, What If Captain Carter was the first Avenger? Peggy makes a decision that changes the entire course of the future, and the show highlights this moment. Peggy Carter seizes the moment to become the first super soldier, and it's very interesting what happens to Steve Rogers. It's a very fast-paced episode and resembles the first Captain America movie. Some action scenes almost seemed more badass than Steve Rogers as Captain America. At number 3, I have episode 4, What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart instead of his hands? This episode hits hard emotionally. From the score to the small details in voice acting. I can't imagine going through what Strange was dealing with. Some decisions in life are absolute and there's no changing the past. I think this episode is the storyline for the new movie coming out. It has to play a part somehow. At 2, I have episode 2, What If T'Challa became Star-Lord. It kinda has the same storyline as the Guardians of the Galaxy, but the villains are reversed. This episode has so many unexpected side characters, and it was such a random ensemble. It was fun watching all these characters interact in another timeline. Chadwick Boseman voiced T'Challa right before he passed away, so they actually dedicated the episode to him, which makes it way more meaningful. And at my favorite episode, number 1, I have episode 5, What If? Zombies. I thought zombies were a cool idea at first, but was not expecting all these different characters and amazing story. It felt like I was watching a movie. It also felt like I was watching old school episodes of The Walking Dead show. This episode is a scary thriller, but there's a comedic character who shows up as a comedy relief, which gives good balance to the episode. Overall, each episode has a good potential story with much to expand on. However, the lack of runtime and many action scenes overshadow the dialogue. Many episodes are great, but there are a few that are probably not for everyone. I think we can all agree the voice acting is pretty decent and the animation style is very impressive to watch. I can only imagine how many more alternate realities they can create with our favorite characters, and I look forward to see the endless possibilities.
What if, yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you want to see more, just subscribe. If you want notifications for new uploads, hit that bell icon. Also, if you could share this video with your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.